I shall be joined by Sifren Wanyama, who is in the ODM League, Youth League, and as well as Matthew Wesonga, who's an SG. He'll be going to tell us, talking about matters state of the nation. So stay tuned for that particular conversation that will be coming to you later on in the day. But first things first, let's take a look on what's waking up this particular morning. And governors have escalated their standoff with the Senate, alleging an elaborate extortion scheme within the Senate's County Public Accounts and Investment Committee that they say is undermining accountability and devolution. Speaking at the close of a 2-day Council of Governors retreat in Kilifi, the county bosses claimed that governors summoned to appear before the committee are routinely directed to first report to the office of the CPIC chairperson, that is Homa Bay Senator Moses Kajwang, where bribes are allegedly demanded before hearings can proceed.
We've been accused of suspending the constitution. No, we're not suspending a constitution. Yes, we respect Senate's role in oversight. All we're saying is it must be exercised responsibly. And it doesn't help to call out only the chair of council or whatever. Last night I received all manner of calls and threats. You know, I'm a pastoralist. Where I come from, we die of all manner of things, even including stray bullets. So it doesn't help to threaten me with jail and stuff like that. No. We have raised issues, we want the issues addressed. We have raised serious issues as a body that is constituted in law. A senator even said the Council of Governors is illegal. That senator has not read the Intergovernmental Relations Act and our intergovernmental laws on our intergovernmental relations architecture. The Senate, the summit and the Council of Governors are bodies created by law under the Intergovernmental Relations Act. They exist by virtue of law. We narrowed down our issues to one committee and certain members of that committee. Senate's own standing orders require that if certain people are mentioned, they step aside from that committee. We were decent enough not to mention names. And that's why today I have written to the Speaker of Senate as the head of Senate and also as chair of Senate's Powers and Privilege Committee, seeking an audience with the leadership of Senate.
We are not running away from our fiduciary responsibility. We want to be accountable. But the issues we raised yesterday must be addressed by the leadership because it's about extortion, intimidation, and political witch hunt. Some of those senators, I know they're aspiring to be governors, so they want to fundraise for their war chest. But for us, we are very clear, we have evidence, and we'll be ready to table before the leadership of the Senate so that we have proper oversight, which is done with integrity and decorum.
Mgalo muue, lakini haki ya kufanya nini? Mpe. Mahali tumefanya, tunafanya. Lakini kuna watu wazuri katika seneti hili. Kuna maseneta ambao wako na nidhamu.
Yeah.
Wengine wanaokota ni pesa wanataka wakufanyia kampeni ya ugavana.
Right, meanwhile, Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna has hit back at the Council of Governors, rejecting their claims that Senate committee members have been embarrassing them during oversight hearings. Speaking on the floor of the Senate, Sifuna said that senators are not embarrassing the governors, but it's the governors' rampant corruption that's embarrassing them. Now, the remarks come amid rising tensions between county executives and the Senate's County Public Accounts and Investment Committee, that is CPAIC. Governors have accused some senators of extortion and harassment during committee session, alleging that they are routinely subjected to humiliation when summoned for oversight.
The reason why we wanted you to allow us brief comments is so that the country knows how committees of this House are constituted. The committees of this House are put together by the House itself, not by busybodies sitting somewhere and saying Sifuna cannot be a member of the House Business Committee. Honorable Speaker, that mandate is securely the mandate of this House to determine which committees sits, who sits on which committees. I was taken aghast, Honorable Speaker, just like the majority leader and the others, to hear an entity that has no affiliation at all with the Senate We are not an appendage of the Council of Governors, suggesting that we should reconstitute some of our committees. Honorable Speaker, I want to give this House background of all this drama that you are hearing. Honorable Speaker, we have a deadline of 31st of March as the Public Accounts Committee to consider all reports. We went to the extent of using resources for this House to publish a list and the invitation to all the county entities to come and appear before us so that they can account for the money that we gave them. Honorable Speaker, when people come before that committee, they are expected to be asked questions and they have to have the right answers. Would you believe it, Honorable Speaker? A county entity comes to the Senate Public Accounts Committee and tells us that the money we have given them for building industrial parks, somebody took 10 million from that kitty and went and held a border event. Then they say we are embarrassing them. Honorable Speaker, Bungoma County came to the Senate Public Accounts Committee and told us that there was somebody who took 4 million shillings to finance our Christmas tree lighting. Speaker, and we are expected to just paper over such issues. Another one came and told us they spent 5 million shillings in Vihiga County for house warming after for the Speaker's house. And then they come and complain and say that we are embarrassing them, that we are harassing them. Honorable Speaker, we have had governors who have appeared before our committees and they have shown up with respect. Nyandarua governor came to the committee the other day and he said he had an engagement at 12. We released him early. We did so. Honorable Speaker, the governor of Narok was before us today. He has come with very meticulous paperwork. You can follow annexures. He tells you this is where that annexure is. These are the photos. Some people come to that committee, they don't even know their own documents. They run away from their documents. The governor of Tharaka Nithi brought documents to us, and when he was asked to read those documents, he said he had left his glasses at home and he could not read the documents because he was embarrassed. His own documents are embarrassing. All of us who are elected to this House have a responsibility to defend devolution in the counties. We all took the same oath. Even if you pick another set of senators, there is no senator here who will ignore you spending 4 million shillings on Christmas trees. It is not possible.
Now, police in Nyeri County clashed with angry residents of Kianjogu Mathira on Tuesday morning following the brutal killing of a 9-year-old Chantel Waruguru. Now, the child's body was discovered dumped inside a pit latrine earlier in the day, sparking outrage among locals. Residents accused the police of negligence after Chantel went missing, claiming authorities failed to act promptly. Tensions escalated to the point where police deployed tear gas to regain control and take custody of the child's body, which had been held by the community for several hours. Now, protesters also blocked the Karatina-Nyeri highway, disrupting the transport and drawing wider attention to the tragedy. Chantel's body is currently being preserved at Nyeri County Referral Hospital, while a suspect is detained at the Nyeri police station pending further investigations.
Tumempata siku ya leo kwa choo tukitafuta in the compound, tukampata in the pit latrine where she had been stabbed, and upon recovering the body we found she had been cut into 2 pieces, brutally murdered.
Tunashindwa, kwani watoto tutapeleka wapi? Sasa ni Chantel, tulikuwa na mwingine. Sasa tunashindwa, kwani nyinyi wanaume tutapeleka wasichana wapi? Hatutazaa wasichana. Tukizaa wasichana tunakuwa na dudu. Ni askari wanatufuria, wametupiga na tia. Tunataka huyo kijana mwenye alifanya hiyo mambo tumuone, tupate haki ya mtoto. Hii ni mbaya sana hizi. Yaani imefika mahali mpaka tia gazi watu wanarushiwa mpaka hii risasi. Like bullet. Nataka kuuliza hii serikali, mnataka kuua watoto wetu mpaka lini? We need justice. We need what? We need what?
Now, a new report by the Institute of Economic Affairs, that is IEA, has revealed a massive funding shortfall within Kenya's Social Health Authority, that is SHA, dealing a major blow to the government's push for universal health coverage. And according to the report, 3 key funds under the SHA, the Primary Health Care Fund, the Emergency and the Critical and Chronic Illnesses Fund, and as well as the Social Health Fund, and are significantly underfunded with a combined deficit of 116.1 billion Kenya shillings. Now, the shortfall, the IEA warns, is severely undermining the effective delivery of health services across the country.
Our system is still evolving and maturing, hence gaps in its effectiveness. That's number one. There is significant funding gaps to SHA, obviously due to low compliance rate, fraud cases, and also there is a fact that we have NHIF debt that has not, I don't know the status, but we have that debt that continues to affect facilities. The benefits package is quite ambitious and expensive. There's a huge crisis with claims and reimbursement impacting on facilities and service delivery, and we still have operational and capacity gaps, so suboptimal digital connectivity. So even as much as SHA has actually enhanced its systems, we still have what is called, digital connectivity facilities.
Right, faith-based organizations have appealed to the government to release outstanding funds owed by the Social Health Authority, that is SHA, warning that delays are pushing many of their health facilities to the brink of collapse. During a roundtable meeting convened to discuss the shrinking donor funding space, the consortium of FBOs emphasized their critical role in delivering healthcare services, serving nearly 40% of Kenya's population. Now, the groups stressed that uninterrupted funding is essential to maintain the continuity of services, particularly in underserved areas. Now, the consortium also called for the inclusion in the government-to-government, that is G2G agreement between Kenya and the United States, arguing that their facilities provide a significant share of healthcare provision and should benefit from the international support flowing to the sector.
Of PEFA, when you check from last year, after His Excellency the President of the United States of America, I think based on the emerging and evolving issues which have come in place, we have now to have the funding based on the projects we have been implementing, which were funded by PEFA and CNDC and USAID and also DOD. It means that now as FBO, we have to engage government.
As long as we have billions of shillings still not dispersed within the system, then our facilities that we proudly represent are actually on the brink of closure. So something fundamental must happen, and it must happen now, because if it doesn't happen, then the population that we are serving, unfortunately, will not be able to access quality health care. But we are committing to be present and available as and whenever we are called upon, and we are ready to collaborate with the county governments. We are also ready to collaborate with national government. We are also ready to collaborate with global governments, with global entities, to be able to ensure that Kenya achieves universal health coverage.
Now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has criticized the government's allocation of 4 billion Kenya shillings to tackle the drought crisis in the northern Kenya, calling it insufficient compared to United Nations standards. Speaking at his DCP party offices, Gachagua urged President William Ruto to declare the situation a national disaster, highlighting that 10 counties are currently on high alert. Now, he further attacked leaders from the northeastern region, labeling them as failures, and warned that President Ruto's upcoming tour to the region, set to start tomorrow or today, is aimed at sanitizing them.
Meeting yesterday, the government, in a typical knee-jerk reaction, allocated 4 billion Kenya shillings to 23 ASAL counties. This translates to approximately 173 million per county, allocated to 3.3 million Kenyans who are affected. This translates to 1,200 Kenya shillings per person. These funds are way below the minimum food basket recommended by the United Nations, to approximately Kenya shillings 2,700 per person in the rural areas. In an expose recently, the Office of the Deputy President spent 338 million on private jets, chartered airplanes and choppers. Aden Duale's SHA business lost 11 billion Kenya shillings. This government does not take human life seriously. For a young man in Kenya, if they are not killing you in the streets, they are tear gassing you in church or killing you with thirst and hunger in the north.
Well, it is exactly 29 minutes past the top of the hour. Taking a short breather here on the Morning Life, but we'll be back in just a bit to discuss matters to do with the state of the nation, as well as we take a look on what the newspapers, the dailies today, has to say in regards to these developing stories, including the drought situation in the country. Don't go too far.